What's up, guys? Let's talk about the RAM price hikes and how the past half decade since 2020 has been painful for PC and hardware enthusiasts. COVID, supply chain shortages. First, there was the SSD price spike, then the GPU price spike, then now the RAM price spike, and it looks like SSD prices might be going back up soon as well. Rough half decade for those of us who want to build their own systems or roll their own hardware infra. Technology is getting more expensive. Everything's getting more expensive, but at least the technology was cheap. Now, even that's not cheap anymore. Let's read this Verge article to see what's been going on with recent RAM prices and talk about why this should concern you, especially if you actually like buying technology and other hardware. According to this Verge article, the big AI companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and Meta have signed deals with the world's largest memory makers, Samsung, Hynix, and Micron, to take up most of their available memory production. Right? Some reports are saying they're taking up to 80% of available RAM stock. What does this mean? Well, that means everyday RAM used in desktops and laptop systems are going to get more expensive, right? If the large memory manufacturers are taking chips for their RAM at scale, and that allocation is about 80% of all production, all the rest of the RAM available to the rest of the world is naturally going to get more expensive. Supply and demand, boys. But things tend to trickle down. If everyday RAM prices are going up, then the cost of the RAM and all your other devices, including your laptop, smartphone, gaming consoles, Raspberry Pis, everything is going to get more expensive as well. Making this problem even worse is the fact that Crucial is shutting down Micron's sub-brand that it would use to sell RAM and SSDs is now being closed because Micron ran the numbers and realized they could make more money selling RAM and SSD directly to big AI. Most people, if they can't afford $300 to $500 to $800 for the amount of RAM they need, will just try to upgrade their current existing systems, right? No need to drop $1,000 to build a new gaming PC when I could just take $200 or $300 and throw an extra 64 gigs of RAM into my system. Or I could buy 4 32 gigabyte sticks to make it 128 gigs of RAM for like half the price and then just sell the current RAM I have and maybe make some money back. This is a great idea, but you're not the only person having this idea. This inadvertently leads to some downstream effects. If we were to pull up Amazon, because the price of DDR5 RAM is now ludicrously expensive, it's also inadvertently driven up the price of DDR4 RAM. If we were to look up DDR4 RAM on eBay, because I doubt you can find new sticks, you'd see a single stick of DDR4 16 gigabyte 2600 megahertz is $55. I know for a fact that a year ago used to pick up one of these sticks for like $20, 25 for a super high end edition. Right? My current system has 128 gigs of RAM built from these 16 gigabyte Samsung sticks. I remember quite clearly how much they cost me. COVID happened more or less 5 years ago, and we're still dealing with the downstream effects of it. It turns out when there is a world-spanning pandemic and literally the manufacturing center of the world shuts down, everything else gets more expensive. But you would think after 3 years, more than enough time for us to get back on our feet, restore supply chains, we still wouldn't be having these problems. And yet we are. Sad time to be a technology enthusiast, boys. Sad time to like PC hardware. Sad time to like gaming. Sad time to like setting up servers and playing around with different compute infrastructures. Just sad time in general. You would think the march towards AI would make our lives easier, but it hasn't. It has not. Tune in next time. We're going to talk about more subjects, If you like these type of conversations, feel free to comment down below. I love to hear from you guys. Stay blessed, and thank you for watching.